round the table, not round the square or triangle. We come to hang and chat like a gang on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but Camelot. We're hanging around the table, our host is formidable. He runs his train, often saying but sure he's quite unstable. He's hobby mad in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Label, quite incomprehensible. The wrench in hand, we have no plan but to sit and hear Dutch babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
See it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey, fellow Knights of the Rhomboid Table, welcome to the Feasting Hall. It is another Friday, and it's time for all knights to gather. Hope you're all well on that side of the monitor, that side of the ocean, that side of the border, whatever separates us, hopefully not much. At least in this age of technology where we can come together as needed. So let's get into greeting everybody. We have Sir Aaron of Aaronville. We have Sir Andy of 81E. We have Sir Digger Evans. We have Mallard, Sir Alan of Dragon Junction. We have Sir Greg of Great Northern 70, Sir Andy the Hot Dog Pilot, and KJ. Is that, there's 2 KJ or Ks, and is that, I've forgotten, I'm sorry, which K the KJ is here. My apologies. I feel like a doofus. We have Sir Andy of March West Junction, the Royal Barkeep. Sir Mick is here and has everything open, although he is serving from Spain, so you better have long arms, where he apparently is enjoying the very moderate temperatures, roughly about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius over there. Which for late in the evening, though, is kind of warm for me. We've got Sir Dino of Model Railway Shed, Sir Clive of Newland Railway, Sir Rayron is here. We've got Sir Dirk of Southern Cross Rail System. We got Sir Tim of Dowd, our CEO. We've got Sir Tom of Couples, the Sergeant at Arms. Sir Tom Houston of Model Rail. I'm sorry I did not answer your email. I had just I put my 3D print stuff on the back burner because I've been doing anything. We have Sir Chris of the Valleys, 56XX is here. And we've got Sir Eric from Von Don Eisenbahn here at the table today. So wonderful to see you, Sir Eric. Hope you're doing well. And I don't think I see any. Oh, Sir Ifo Fonzon was here earlier, but hasn't posted anything for a few minutes. So it's like if you don't post something within 4 minutes, they drop your name off the list. And Sir Jean of Ricard has driven his last bus route and has come home. Welcome in, sir. Yep. Yeah, I figured you were still here. Just I forget what the time limit is, 3 minutes or 5 minutes, that if you don't post something in the chat, they take your name off the chat. It's stupid. They take your name off the list of participants. Anyhow, I am broadcasting with OBS today as opposed to OBS through StreamYard. I'm not using StreamYard. So I'm actually able to see the chat here today. So I won't have to keep going over here, so I won't miss as much. Buenos dias. That's funny. Not a lot has happened in the model train world. I did post a video about this guy right here. And just to make sure, there's 4 cars here and the locomotive. The locomotive came from Herb. It is a French 241 or 482, as we would call it in English, and British nomenclature. Andy, so far the internet is okay. Am I coming through okay? Everything on replay is looking good. All my check monitors are good. Okay, good. Hey, Sir Randall Ellison, you're going to be driving now, so you'll be back in a little bit. Okay. So anyhow, going back to this. This is a French locomotive. This was part of the collection I bought from Herb last, oh my God, it's been a year. I began negotiating buying it in early September of last year. So it's been a year since I did these, and we negotiated, then had to work out the money, and then he had to ship it, and it took a while for the shipment to come in. The boxes started coming in right before I went to Getz, and then I came home and was sick, so I didn't start opening the boxes until I started feeling better. Anyhow, it's a gorgeous loco, but that was not a gift from Dave, and it's not a purchase, and these did not come as a set. 3 of these cars, in fact, 1, 2, 3, those were the gifts from Dave at Scott Rails, and they're just awesome. I love these cars, and I bought a second first-class car, if you're with me on that, because it had the right coupling. So what I did was I took off, and maybe I can show this to you. This is the couplings they came with, but to connect it to any locos, I needed this kind of coupling. Sort of the A coupling, or this imitation of the A coupling right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but the standard European coupler. And what I did was, you could see that there's a screw. I just unscrewed the one coupler like this from the end of a second class car and traded it with one of these couplers from this car. It's going to get stuck around there. And that way, I can still connect all these trains with their cars with these couplers, but I could connect it to the train. And I ran that train. And the comments were almost entirely friendly. We had a couple of people that, because they don't know the story, and this is one of the things why you got to be very, very careful when you comment on videos. You're not in the room with the person. You don't know what they've already done and gone through. That's why I don't offer suggestions or advice, because I don't know what you've done. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. There are things where I think I would know what I'm talking about, but I don't know what you've done or tried. And for example, I had like 3 or 4 people criticizing the locomotive. You know, that why am I running it? It sounds bad, blah blah blah. And it's like, a month ago that locomotive wasn't working. Some of you may remember months ago, a year ago, when I first got it and put it on the DC layout to demonstrate it, it was running and going chung 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 chung, and I was wondering, were the phalanges on the wheels too big and blah blah blah. Well, no, it had some issues that I have spent a little time here and there correcting. So yesterday, or 3 days ago, when I put that video up, and I filmed it the night before. Actually, I filmed it that morning, was the best this has run since I picked it up. I still think I've got work to do, but you like to work on some things and then see how it goes. And when it was running without pulling cars, it looked like it was going great. And of course, this has got a weird, it's a tender driven, and the tender drive is kind of funky in its way and the way it connects power. But yeah, I probably did not put enough oil or gear lube. I didn't put enough gear lube in the gears and oil on a couple of things, but I would rather not do enough than too much. I think putting too much gear lube and too much oil does more damage than giving a little and maybe not enough. So I will go back and work on that some more, but I just wanted to get those cars running, and I wanted to thank Herb and Dave for creating this new train I have. A month ago, I would have never thought about running a French train. Now, the other thing is my friend Tom from Tom's Märklin Layouts. Oops. Okay, Anthony, maybe you should have separated those a little bit more gently. He says he found a video where somebody took this tender, and I've been told it can't be converted to 3-rail. But he shared a video where a guy took this from Joef and converted it to 3-rail. So I'm going to be trying to watch that video and see if I think I can do it. So I want to thank everybody that watched that video and was positive towards it, because I'm very excited about that French train. Hello, Sir Simon of SJ Train World. Of course, I also posted a controversial thing, and I don't want to talk politics. And when you talk economics, and specifically tariffs, it's going to be politics. But I did post a little thing, and I'm arguing with a couple of people over their understanding of tariffs. And the fact that certain companies like UPS won't use the word tariffs because of political reasons. Even though I have bought something from Canada very recently and had no charges delivered by UPS. And all of a sudden, I had the $6.40 government fee tariff, and then the brokerage fee, the additional tariffs we have to pay that we're going to make you pay. But just don't talk about any further than that. I just posted it up. Again, some countries you've dealt with tariffs in a certain way, but this is a crazy situation going on, and you're not going to talk about it without mean words being cast about. But yeah, Chris from the Valleys. I'm a bit. I blame my grandfather, please. I blame my grandfather. I've tried to learn better, but I'm a bit of a Francophobe. I am not beloved of the French. I am not beloved of the French. Pretty much in every war except World War II, I've rooted against the French. My grandfather, unfortunately, fought in World War I in the trenches. His units were next to the French units. He didn't have a lot of nice things to say about the French either. So before I lose all my French friends, so I never had any interest in French trains. And then I got the Loco as part of a collection I bought. Dave gifted me the cars, and now I've got this beautiful French train. So much for being a Francophobe. Now I'm a Francophile. That's a gorgeous train. The thing is, I really want it running on my main layout. I've got it on the DC layout, and when I get this in better working order, I will give it a 3-hour tour, but I'm not going to let it do a 3-hour live stream. Sacre Bleu, correct. Also, I've been doing a lot of French accent because I have now completed editing video of the first 4 Matt Clark episodes. And so I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks I will start. I still want to write about 2 to 4 more scenes before I start posting, just to make sure I give myself time to keep it going. I have no idea how long this story is going to be because I keep coming up. Like I just added a scene and filmed it. It's a new scene 3 that I threw in that wasn't originally supposed to be. No, it's a new scene 2 that wasn't originally going to be in, and then I wrote it and threw it in. So, and it may be that I publish 6 videos and then I go a month without any videos and then I continue the series. Because I'm only going to write this as I'm feeling the vibe. But I'm happy. There's a lot of exposition in the first few scenes, but it's a big story we're setting up. But petit pois. Lord Owl and his Lavies do get a mention in a couple of the scenes already because we've got our favorite character Ned to go, and his name sadly leads to all kinds of harassment from people. Ned to go. If Andy's speaking French, it's food. I think it's the only French Andy Hot Dog Pilot speaks. All right, so anyhow, other than that, I just been fighting the blues a bit, but dogging on, working on, Joyce and I, she just got told she's done with tennis for the rest of the year. She has injured her foot, not tennis related, not while playing tennis, but Joyce actually has deformed feet. I hate to say it that way, but she has, if a regular foot, the arch is like this, just a little bit of a curve. Her arch is like way like that. She has got a massively high arch, and the tendons and muscles in there are prime and prone to damage and injury. She's lived with it her whole life, and she's toughed it out. She's played sports. But it's almost impossible for her to wear sandals because it just hurts her foot. Well, she's really seriously agitated. Oh, thank you, Greg. Yeah, I'm celebrating a little bit of Beatles stuff today. So there's a Beatles theme with the British stuff. I did damage my Class 73. It's an easy fix. But for some reason, the pickup wires got wrapped around the bogie. I don't know how that happened or why, but the pickup wires got wrapped around the bogie. And when I tried to straighten the bogie, I snapped the pickup wire. So I just have to resolder them or put new ones in, stronger ones, better ones. So I'll take care of that hopefully this weekend. So I changed locomotives on that. Hey, Sir Ray Bobel is here, I believe I saw. Good afternoon. Bowling night, I believe. Yeah, it's not like she's on crutches or anything, but she has to wear shoes or sandals until she goes to bed. And so her I've been giving her foot rubs, and if I don't say so myself, she'll tell you, I'm an amazing masseuse. I don't know how, I wasn't trained, but apparently these are magic fingers. Everybody I've ever given neck rubs and back rubs to, and foot rubs to, has all agreed. I seem to have a skill there. Hey, Sir Anthony at Middleport Junction. And I believe, no, it was somebody else. Sorry. Similar name to Middleport Junction. I just posted a video. So anyhow, let's get to the trains I'm running. Hopefully things run better today than last week. Last week was depressing. Because everything ran great in practice. And then when we went to reality, things started derailing and all that crap. Anyhow, the theme, if there is a theme today, it's just, other than there's a heritage train running in the background, just to give the people who like steam some steam to stare at. It's basically just trains I would see in the north. It's just, I'm not running any of the super high speed trains like the IC3s or Railjets, but I do have an IC IC2, not ICE, but an IC2. The easiest way to tell the difference between an IC and an IC, or an IC and an ICE, is ICs have actual locomotives and ICEs have control cabs. Steuerwagen, I guess, way to put it. But anyhow, we'll get this one into motion. It's being pulled by a class 146.5. A little bit later in the stream, I'm going to try to start up the GoPro view so you guys can have the passenger view, which I've only done once since I got a lot of the greenery done. Lane 2 is a class 143 pulling some Regio double-deckers, the DoSto Wagen, DoSto Doppelstock, double deck, double level. Lane 3, for those who like freight, we got some freight. Now, I do want to get some ore cars. I think I just want to put an ore train together just to have a different type of stock. I got the flatbed stock, which is empty. I probably should pick up some, like, wood and pipes that I could fill those flatbeds with. And then I've got the tanker and mixed freights. But I think I would like to also get some, like some kind of ore, coal or modern era ore, even era up to, you know, going back to era 4, era 5, era 6. So that's with my class 249, the dual mode, as they're calling it. The next lane, that's a class 101, and this is the Nuremberg Express. A couple of weeks ago, I was running my N-Wagen and just said Nuremberg Express because I thought I grabbed them out of the Nuremberg Express drawer, because that's the problem when you have single deckers in consecutive drawers. I was going for the Nuremberg Express, but opened the other one and put those out, thinking I was going to run the Nuremberg. Anyhow, it's a class 101. The Munich Nuremberg Express. That's definitely one of the things I've been looking at, EFO. Definitely one of those. And they're out there. They're available. So it definitely would be easy enough to do. You know, if you guys remember, I picked up a couple of ore-like wagons when I was in Germany. And maybe I'll grab those in a minute, but let's get it. And then I have the Metronom. Here and ready to go. And then way in the back, I'm running a Prussian PR8, a KPEV PR8, and a group of Prussian cars. Uh-oh. What happened there, dude? Oh, that's what happened. Sorry, guys. We've had an architectural problem. Oh, these damn things. What is causing them? I have got ghosts just being vicious little bastards. Why are you guys all falling? I'm not going to risk it. We'll just... I did not catch you guys had fallen down. What is your major malfunction? That's what happens when you use temporary holds. The gremlins are still around. One of the canopies over on the Bremen side fell down and blocked the metronome. Sorry about that. So let me get the KPEV in motion. Bonsoir, Titi Ari. Aaronville, yeah, 3-rail. 3-rail, we have what we call a pickup shoe. That's in German it's called a Schleifer. Most people translate it in English as the pickup shoe. I and several other people call it a pickup ski, So let me just bore some of you with, oh my God, he's going to talk about it again. But there is a Märklin 3-rail track. Hopefully you can see the little nubs. It looks like a bunch of separate nubs, but if you turn the track over, you can see it's a solid piece of metal going down the middle. And then the drive unit or the power unit has a middle rail pickup. They call this a shoe. It gets translated most of the time as the pickup shoe. I don't get it. It looks like a ski. Call it the pickup ski. But every one of my locos on the power device has a pickup ski. All right, let's get back to the trains. There's that Class 143. Oh, did we have? Oh, we did have. What happened here? Okay, hang on. Not you, not you. You. Did we just have? Yeah, you just came all the way around. I worried about that because that dude. I think the issue is the coupler. I think I need a better coupler here. You guys aren't seeing what's going on here. I'm going to stop everything temporarily again just to, because otherwise I could short this out putting this on, and I don't want to do that. I was worried that the buffers were too tight on those two trains, so hopefully changing the coupler out here will do wonders. Okay, what did I just do? Oh, I bumped the stop. That's what I did. How did I manage that? Don't ask questions, Anthony. So I'll keep an eye on that. But isn't it weird? It made like 2 loops around, 3 loops around, and then decided to uncouple. Yeah, hey, Sir Andy of 1962 and Sir Alan of Reynolds. You're watching while working in the loft. Cool. Vote for Charlie Bishop. Hasn't he won that a lot? I just, no offense, I want to see other people win it. I want to see somebody new win it. I mean, because otherwise it just becomes the Charlie Bishop Award. And Charlie Bishop's an awesome channel. Just a brilliant channel. But I just kind of like to, unless it's my favorite sports team, I like to see the winning. You know, I always want my team to win the championship every year, but everywhere else where I don't have a vested interest, I'm egalitarian. I even hate that because in some ways it becomes a notoriety and popularity contest. You know, there's so many channels. I could never pick one as best or favorite or channel of the year. Because everybody's good. You vote, hey, Sir Andy 81E. You voted for Rob in voting. You know, the problem is I can't name a channel because I will immediately feel that I slighted every channel. Basically, every channel I'm subscribed to deserves to win the award. And hundreds of channels I'm not subscribed to. What was the channel? I had never heard of this channel. He's got 50,000 subscribers in the UK. He posted a video about somebody that got trashed in a letter rejecting their layout for an exhibition. And he posted a rant. And for some reason that came up on my suggestion feed. And I saw something you should never do in the hobby. And I was like, oh, is this going to be one of those judgmental people that, like, there's a right way to do it and everybody else is wrong? No, where he was ripping on somebody for... What is going on? Oh my goodness, we are uncoupling right and left. Trains that never uncouple. Why is everybody uncoupling? The gremlins are still out. I have had more uncoupling the last 2 weeks than in 5 years of this show. Pardon me, guys. I am just trying to figure out what in the tarnation is going on with my trains uncoupling. I'm going to take a quick peek and see if something fell over and maybe knock them off. But they're lane 1. There's nobody out there. I might just want to take these canopies off. Well, they may have bumped that canopy. It's leaning just enough and they're tall enough. All right. I'm not taking any chances. You're off. You're off. Oh, and stepping over the rails, I realized I didn't start the bottom rail. Sorry, guys. I'm sure about 10 of you said, hey, what about the bottom? It wasn't Sam's Trades. It was... Yeah, but that's just it. Most times, I don't have these issues. Whoops. And then I didn't recouple them. Stay together. No divorces. We're not doing this crap here. Come on. Hey, Sir Leslie of Gilpin. And I see Sir Brad of Willow Creek. Yep, there's Willow Creek. Good. Yeah, and again, I don't want to slight. Oh, let's get the bottom going. Let's go to the bottom rail. Floor cab. Da 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 da. So we will get the Mallard pulling the Beatle album cars, and I expect at least one of those to derail because it always derails. The yellow submarine car seems to be an issue. And come on, Duchess. Come on. Get going. Hello, peasants. Find your zoom, Duchess. Find your zoom. And those tracks, I tried to clean those tracks, but... yeah, I don't know what's going on. But the new thing is all those... canopies that have been standing up straight for 4 years over on the Bremen platforms keep falling over now. Now, they are only temporarily up, so I'm assuming that the stuff I used to hold them is wearing out. Did Duchess stop again? Oh, royalty. I'm sorry, UK people, I'm sorry, but this is why we Americans don't do royalty. Now, in all fairness, some of you noticed that I put some scenery down there. And unlike my 3-rail stuff where I'm nowhere near affecting the 3rd rail when I'm putting grass and scenics down, with 2-rail, you get a little blob of glue. If you don't clean that up right, you've got a dead spot, even if it's only a millimeter long. So I really tried to clean those tracks up, but the Duchess of Sutherland is a sensitive loco. She's a sensitive girl. But yeah, it's hard to put the grass in down there, and it's hard to get under there and clean because, well, you can see down there, compare size, me to the space down there. Not a lot of room for me to maneuver down there to put grass in. So I was making a mess and getting glue everywhere, and I'm trying to clean the glue. I tried to clean the track this morning. To the best of my ability. And I see the Beatle wagons. Yeah. Well, the reason I'm doing a Beatles theme is the Beatles. It was 30 years ago this week that the Beatles released the anthology, which was the Beatles had finally solved all their lawsuits. Everything was good. George and Paul were on speaking terms again, and they got back together, and for the first time, they were going to tell their story. There had been movies and documentaries, but the Beatles were going to tell their story, even if versions of things contradicted. They would say, here's what John remembers, here's what Paul remembers, here's what George remembers. So it was the Beatles telling their story. And they've now gone through, after they released that song last year, Now and Then, which was supposed to be the third song on the original anthology, but George refused to do it. He just said it was so crappy. And if you ever heard the original master tape of John's demo of Now and Then, it was crappy. Well, now they've got this technology where they clean it up and they can actually, I hate to say it because I am so anti-AI, but they used an AI program that basically took John's voice and there's the next uncoupling. Come on! Holy shit! Pardon my French, boys and girls. I don't get this. Why are just random trains uncoupling? I've never had this problem. And it's like, oh, you're going to have this problem all last week and all this week. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's starting to get on my wick a bit. But anyhow, so it's the 30th. They've released a new one, and they took the two singles they released back in '95, Free as a Bird and Real Love, and they used the same eye tech and cleaned up John's voice for those. Plus, they've got more outtakes and everything else. I haven't bought it, and I may not. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, these were songs that Yoko wanted to release, but she didn't think they were good enough, and she gave them to Paul and said, maybe you can do something with them. And then when the Beatles, when all the lawsuits settled, George and Ringo agreed with Paul and said, hey, let's put something on these and do it. I remember the very short-lived TV show that Weird Al had on MTV where he was making fun, like, here on Anthology 7, you can hear Paul brushing his teeth and gargling, because you get all these random bits, but... yeah, I am a huge Beatles fan, Beatles maniac. They are my favorite rock and roll band, along with The Who. Well, the Beatles are number one, and then The Who, Pink Floyd, and a few other bands kind of fight it out for 2 through wherever. You got it on pre-order? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see. I don't want to rebuy it all just because, oh, look, they've remastered it again. I would be interested in buying and downloading anything new. I don't want to rebuy the old stuff. All right, so let's see. That is 3 out of 6 trains have uncoupled so far today. Well, 3 out of 8 when you count the floor. ELO Jeff Lynne. Oh, that's fine. My thing is it's like I'm not a fan of Elvis. There are some songs by Elvis I like, but I'm not an Elvis fan. In fact, I don't like most of Elvis's music. But I respect the fact that he put rock and roll into the mainstream USA and then to the world. Now, I have more respect for the Chuck Berrys and the Little Richards and the guys that because of their skin color, couldn't get on radio and mainstream, the guys that actually invented rock and roll music. But I respect the impact that Elvis had. And who did you uncouple with this time, dude? Where is it? Keep this shit up and oh my god. John Ricard's probably looking at his screen yelling, "Why aren't you using a re-railer?" Because I don't have room to use my re-railer here. Now I can put my thumbs on those and try to yank them apart, and they're not coming apart. Man, the model train gods are not liking me for some reason this week, or the last week's show and this week. Again, I ran them in, no problems. But again, I only do 2-3 laps, but I don't know why that IC2 is just having major uncoupling issues. Oh well. No, I did talk to them nicely. The time for niceties is over. Now I'm getting grumpy. Yeah, Buddy Holly was so important because he was really the first white rock and roll star that really wrote most of his own songs. Elvis didn't write most of his songs. You had the Tin Pan Alley guys writing them. And then the Beatles were so big because although they did a lot of covers early on, they wrote 90% of their songs. And not only did they write, and yes, they wrote some duds, but they wrote so many classics. And the thing is, they only did this in an 8-year period if you count their first record in the UK. But really, if you think Beatlemania hitting the United States in February of 1964 and the Beatles breaking up by August of 69, it's a 5.5-year period where the Beatles released 13 albums in a 5-year period. Not to mention all the EPs and the Christmas albums and the number of tours they did just in 64, 65, and 66 before they stopped touring. You know, and if you do the first band to do this, the first band to do that, the Beatles often did it. Without the Beatles, you don't have Jimi Hendrix because it was the Beatles using the feedback sound briefly in a couple of areas that inspired Jimi Hendrix to want to make that the base of his sound, and so on and so on. Well, they don't uncouple until they get to the decline, and then the cars that aren't uncoupled go faster. Oh, that was the other news, and let's get some other views going in here. I am stuck on views. Oh, that's the 11-lane view. Let's do I just nailed the bridge view, so let's see how the cam's doing. That's looking good. God, I just want to settle down and breathe easy, but now I'm uptight. The German company Zoeute, S-E-U-T-H-E, the German company Zoeute, that is one of the world's largest producers of steam units, smoking units, and the oil to go in smoking units, probably the #1 producer of they're shutting down. They're still run by they're still a small business run by a guy. He's ill, and he says, I'm shutting down. I'm a little surprised, like, why not try to sell it off Why not try to sell off the business? But he's like, I'm sick, I'm tired, and I'm shutting the business down. Yeah, Jean, you do that on your layout, and I'll do it my way. Hey, man. Hey, man. We be jamming, man. Sneak preview of what you're going to visit tomorrow. I will have to open that up and look at that a little bit later. Oh, that's right. I can't do that from here. I'd have to do the live view. Oh, my goodness. Another disaster. Now that Steurer wagon popped off again. So the IC2 and the Munich Nuremberg Express are taking turns uncoupling. I don't know if it's not enjoying going over the... but you've run on these before. This is not your first time running since I redid all the track there. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Ruby, spare the agony on me. It's just getting crazy. Hello, Sir Owen of Concord. Oh, that's sure. I really thought Märklin might just take him over because I think Märklin is their #1 corporate connection. Well, I'm sure, Andy, I'm sure that this is probably generation 2 or 3 running the business. Leutz has been around a long time, but yes, this guy is old. But that's a sad thing to talk about. You know, we always talk about age in the hobby, and there it just disconnected again. This is the problem with how I built this. Things are a little harder to reach. All right, so in the uncoupling department, it's Munich Nuremberg Express 3. And yeah, you can see one of those canopies fell down again, but it's on a track that's not being used. I'm tired of fighting that battle. Somebody does not like me right now. Okay, that's good. Wonder if the Munich Nuremberg is offended that it's running the short line and not one of the long lines. Hey, Sir Dwight of Curly, and welcome in, Sir Chase of Chase's Railways. You got your first Shea HO steam locomotive. That's cool. I'm not a fan of the Shea in terms of appearance, but hey, a lot of people love it. It's a classic. I'm just a schmuck, so more power to everybody loving what they got. All right, Andy, we appreciate you stopping in. Thank you very much, Sir Andy of 1962 Variety. Yeah, that's what I did. I always, when they uncouple more than once, I turn them around to see if that's the issue. Hey, it was $25, not $100. Well, that's even better. If I wanted to buy a Shea, it would have been the Märklin Shea that came out this year, and that would have been about $500 before the tariff issues. But yeah, I am not. I am hoping to go to Ormondy's tomorrow. I got to wait till Joyce gets home to see if she's going to be up to it. But that's the closest Märklin dealing train shop. I want to try to pick up some decoders because there's about 4 more trains that I would love to get running on this layout. No, they don't, but Andy 81E, they keep pulling trains out of service, and then they keep putting those trains back into service. You know, the 113s and 114s were supposed to be out of service years ago. And then I went to, I was in, where was it? Rostock, and there were 2 114s hauling traffic. 120s. You can go on Wikipedia, it says there's only one 120 left. And yet I've seen 3 of them on my last trip because it's like, we're running out of locos, pull that one out, and let's use that. You just got your first steering coach for your Co-Rail DEV. Well, that's cool. Raymond, you got to post more videos so we can see this stuff. Because you can talk about it, but I like to see it. Are the BR-111 still running? They're not supposed to be, but did I see one this year? I don't think I saw this one this year, but in 2023, in our trip to Germany, I saw 111. Yeah, I keep telling those cameras to stop auto-adjusting focus. Thank you for that, Mon. I am definitely much happier with it. I haven't done anything on it, and I'm getting frustrated, but I've got to figure out what to do with these areas where I was talking about putting in the retaining walls, and I just can't find a solution I'm 100% happy with. And when I can't do that, it stagnates. You get Vectrons 112s and 114s. Okay. No, anytime I use, I've never used local traffic in Frankfurt, you know, the Regios. Whenever we're leaving Frankfurt, we're usually going a long distance, so we tend to take ICEs or ICs. Oh, quick, up the ramp, where's it? Up the ramp, bam, we got 2 guys coming into view. Two guys coming into view. Yeah, that was a hell of a kick by Zobolosai. Hell of a kick. And that's what it came down to. And the funny thing is, my second daughter is a huge Arsenal fan. I know I've told that many times before. Because I was a huge Liverpool fan, and we would get the FIFA and UEFA Cup video games. And I would always play as Liverpool and play the British Premier Leagues. And the kids would want to play. And I would always be Liverpool, so the kids had to find teams. So they would go, back in the day, they'd look at who were the other top teams. Well, of course, Man United. So my oldest daughter became Man United. My younger daughter took turns being Arsenal and Chelsea. She's definitely more an Arsenal fan than a Chelsea fan because she still follows Arsenal. She tries to keep up with the lineup changes and the coaches. She was one of those people that hated Arsene Wenger. And then my son was Newcastle. I don't know why. I think he liked the uniforms. Oh, she was disappointed, but neither one of us gloat. You know, if Arsenal beats Liverpool like they did last year, she doesn't gloat at me. And if Liverpool wins, I don't gloat at her. We just nod like, yep, your team won. My family is very non-confrontational that way. Because to be honest, I was worried going into that game. I still don't know how Liverpool is going to, what their emotional state is going to be after having lost Diego Jota over the summer. But my friends know how it is. My friends know how it is. Walk on through the rain. So, you know, and she was at work. No, she was at a get-together when the game was played. So she only caught the score afterwards. Because everybody's off this weekend because it's the first of the international breaks, I believe. Just as important game for me was my Ohio State Buckeyes beat the Texas Longhorns again. Last weekend, and tomorrow they should have an easy game. Yeah, the 109. Evo, I'm trying to remember because I think I got a BR 109. Was the 109 the one built by Skoda? Or am I confusing it with the 103? Or is it was 103, but the Germans made it 109, or vice versa. Okay, that's the 102 was the Skoda. The 102 was the Skoda. Skoda Messerschmitt 109E. You're the proud owner. Well, that's cool, Fleischmann 103. I mean, I've got some Fleischmann Locos. I just can't run any of them because they're all two-rail. I mean, not that Fleischmann made all two-rail, but just all the Fleischmann Locos I have are two-rail. I could run them down there, but and there's no reason I don't run them down there other than I would have to run, like, use them to pull the Beatle stuff. and British cars because I don't have any two-rail. I don't have any. Now I got a few two-rail rolling stock. Well, you know, you go with what's out there. I mean, two-rail in HO is the dominant one. You can buy any stock from any country. You can even run your British 00 scale stock on your HO layout in most cases. The only reason I say in most cases because depending on how you set up siding yards and that, the slightly larger width of the British 00 scale could give you problems in tunnels and some places. But overall, you know, they all run on HO scale, HO gauge track. So, more power to them. Again, if I can't say if I knew what I was doing, because if I knew what I was doing, I probably still would have gone three-rail. I just like three-rail more. I like how much the Märklin C-Track is easy. For somebody like me that doesn't want it complicated, that doesn't want it, wants all the perks of digital, but doesn't want to do all the computerized blah, blah, blah. Three-rail was digital trains for dummies, and I don't say that in a negative way. C-Track is digital train for dummies, like me, and I don't like calling myself a dummy. But model trains for me is a hobby, and I don't want it to be a job. Now, some people, they enjoy that work of, hey, I'm going to wire this whole thing up. You know, for example, our good friend of the channel, Hi, at H&H Express from the Netherlands, he is very high-tech with his wiring that, but it's kind of what he did for a living. It goes in that field. I wasn't in the high-tech. I wasn't in the IT world. Back in the 90s, I could take a computer apart, buy the pieces, and solder it all, put it together, but I know my electrical, I know my electronics, but when it came to this layout, my goal was to keep it simple. I wanted to get trains running and enjoy the sight of the trains running. Yes, if I had the skills and the abilities, I'd do Miniature Wonderland in miniature, but that's not who I am. And I kind of have to accept my limitations. A man's got to accept his limitations, or know his limitations. Knockers Lane has a derail. Hey, Kieran, how are you? What is Knockers Lane? Oh, 00 boobs. Huh. No, that's all good. No derail down there. Knockers Lane has dead rail. Okay. So, oops. Man, I keep telling this camera. I tell you. At least the cameras in the back will be fuzzy, but the trains in the passing in front will be all right. That's a good shot for the stuff in the distance too, especially when I've got the camera lowered where my my homemade back screen shows up. Hello, sir, Andy of Puff Candy Dobson. We've had pretty much all the Andys in here today. But yeah, I mean, the thing about this hobby is there's something for everybody. And if somebody's happy with something, it's not our job to tell them they would be happier, you know, or to tell them something's better. You know, we always want to be helpful, but sometimes we're not helpful when we think we're being helpful. And the thing is, nobody has to watch a channel where they do things you don't like. You don't have to. I mean, I would have maybe more viewers if I weathered my trains, but I don't weather my trains. And there are people that have said, I can't watch a channel if they don't weather their trains. Well, okay, fair enough. And as long as they don't post on my channel going, you have to weather your trains, it looks like shit if you don't, well, then that's rude. That's just rude. It doesn't have to be that judgmental. You could just say, yeah, I prefer to see weather trains and I'm moving on. No fault. I would have no anger and animosity with that. You just gotta, you know, my layout's fat. It doesn't have a lot of scenery. You know, I've got more scenery now, but it doesn't have a lot of eye-popping candy that looks cool. To me, it's, you know, sometimes it's about camera angle. Now that I've got these guys, can I trust these trains that I can add something? Let's see if I can do this. It's been a while since I've done this, and I want to see what this looks like on camera. You mean my British Eurostar? The Yellow Submarine? Beep, beep, beep. Okay, hang on a second, kids. I almost said Opa's going to do something here, but... Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong thing. I'm like, what's going on there? Bing. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to set up the GoPro. Okay. Now, there it is. Sorry, I'm trying to set up my GoPro. Huh. Okay, maybe I won't be doing it, darn it. Huh. Huh. Oh, this would be the first time I've done it, so there's got to be something that's in there. Oh, the Mona server. Alright, well, I'm not going to do that today. Sorry about that, guys. Something's not connecting. Oh, well. The vomit cam. How's it a vomit cam? The only time I think of vomit cam is when I pick it up with when I pick a camera up with my hand and I start shaking it a bit. On Concord said bye. Well, Owen, if you're checking out, goodbye. If you're saying bye to somebody else, I missed it. But yeah, the Mona server is not reading the signal from, so I'm going to have to reinstall my Mona server. Side view makes you queasy. That's interesting, because that's the normal passenger view when you ride a train. Do you get travel sick? Because if Joyce is not sitting by the window looking in the direction we're traveling, she gets sick. She does not like it. She has to sit next to the window every time we travel, and she wants the seats to be facing in the direction we're traveling. So otherwise she can, she still puffs a lot of Dramamine when we're taking long car drives or going by train or taking a flight. I don't get airsick, I get air panicked. I have this horrific fear of plane crash. Plane crash. Wow, that was a Freudian mix-up. I haven't shown that map in a while. The old layout, positioning of cameras and such. Oh, the wife? Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, Mom, we're sorry that your mom is not well and that it's a real hard time on you for that. Families are a hard business. Very interesting conversation between Dirk and Ifo here. I'll have to go back and catch all of it because I'm sure I missed a couple of stages of it. going round in circles. Gonna fly up high like a bird up in the sky. The Chris Hales Heritage Railway World Tour. Yeah, there's an American channel called My Life Plans that I've recently subscribed to, and today he posted a video talking about the owner of his local train shop, or his favorite train shop, passed away, and how a couple of shows have been in his region have been canceled, and it's tough. So many of these mom and pop shops. You know, I'm hoping to go to Hornby's tomorrow if Joyce is up to it. Being a 2-hour drive, I don't want to do that myself. But the husband-wife team that run Hornby's are in their mid-late 80s. And he's a pretty spry man for 80. And boy, you start talking European trains, he'll hop out of his chair behind the counter and come over and tell you his story. It's a great one. We did a video about his shop, and we're going back for the first time since we did the video. Video did get some love. It got some, and it got a few people saying, "Wow, I live within an hour there. I didn't know that was there." So I don't know. Maybe we did them a service. It would be awesome if we did. Again, they're not they're half O scale and half HO scale, although that's really not fair. It's like they do have a small N scale section. I think they even have they do have some Märklin Z scale too. But their two biggest lines, but they don't have a lot of the newest Märklin. They get some of the, obviously the ones they think are going to sell on a couple of the special models, like they had the Metropolitan, the 3-rail version of the Metropolitan, which he was offering me for a couple of $100 off, but still it was $800. And at the time, Joyce might have been like, if you really want it, which I didn't. Now, if I did decide I want it, it would be like, you can't afford it right now. That's a little too steep a price. Yeah, it is the demographics of the hobby, but I mean, I look around and I see lots of young people there, but like a lot of us. I shouldn't say us, because I didn't get into the hobby until I was in my 50s. I had never, everybody knows, I didn't play with trains, wasn't into trains, never did anything about trains. It was riding trains in Europe that created a bond. And then, like all my hobbies, it becomes sort of it's a passion. There are a few people that I watched back in the day when I got into this hobby who would very condescendingly say that, some people pick their trains like women. They pick it by color. And I'm like, that's kind of exactly what I did. I have a railjet and a Czech railjet because I looked at them and said, oh my God, those are cool looking. Awesome livery. The classic British 37 diesel. I've seen them in liveries where they are so ugly, and then I see them in liveries that I think they look really cool. I don't know how I'd feel about an unpainted 37, whether I would think it was an ugly locomotive or a cool looking locomotive. Probably lean towards the ugly, but man, the Euro Phoenix livery makes them pop. And that's why the ugliest 37s are the ones where some company bought it from another company and all they did was stick their logo on it and didn't bother repainting it. But you clean them up and give them the right livery, the 37s are really cool looking. You started your trains at 5. Yeah, my dad bought me a train set because it was kind of like back in 1969. It's what you did. You bought your son a model train set. My dad gave me a football because that's what you did. And And I had all the standard toys, the electrical kits, what we called the erector sets. I forget what they call those in British, what they call them in the UK. But like Hornby or Trying had them. It's just the various screws and metal plates that you could build things with, like build an operating crane or build a robot or build whatever, but it was just all different sizes and shapes of metal plates. Class 37 is a working class. Uh-oh, we crashed. Oh, we're back. It was a temporary crash. My screen was spinning for a bit. Meccano. Okay, it was Meccano. But, I think my favorite Loco in the UK is a Class 68 or a Class 88 because I tend to lean towards the modern, more aerodynamic looks. They look a lot like, and because they are, the Trax Bombardier style. Hey, Sir Lee, welcome in. And hello, Sir John of Mystic Railway. Nice to have you in, good sir. Yeah, we already got that, John. Thank you. But, yeah, it's... they were just standard toys, but I like my electric football, my tabletop hockey, and I like being outside because it got me out of my house. I like being outside playing sports. Heck, my friends and I played football in any kind of weather, so we were outside. It wasn't like the weather's too bad to play football. It's raining? Let's play in the mud. It's snowing? Let's play in the snow. There's a nuclear apocalypse? Let's play in it. Well, greetings, Yowzer. Been a while. Welcome in, welcome in. Nice to have you here, Sir Yowzer. But whatever gets you into trains. But most of you go through that phase where you had trains as a kid, dad, grandpa, whatever. But then so many of you, I've heard so many people on 4 different continents tell the same story. 5 different continents tell the same story. You hit an age, girls, cars, and other things become more important and trains go on the back burner. And then sometime in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you rediscover the passion, or you don't. But those in the hobby rediscovered it. So getting young people in and trying to keep them in, it's going to follow the same rhythm. I've been hearing since I got in the hobby, but goodness, I can go back when I was collecting toys. I would go back, let's say the late 80s, early 90s, when I was a big-time toy collector and bought and sold toys, bought old broken toys, repaired them and resold them or gave them away. And back then, people were saying, oh, the model train hobby's dying. It won't be around in 10 years. It won't be around in 10 years. It'll definitely be gone in 20 years. And here we are, 35, 40 years later, we're still saying the hobby's dying, the hobby's dying, the hobby's dying, but it isn't. And there's more companies making more model train related stuff now than ever before. Even when one company shuts down, we still have more companies making model train related products now than we had 20, 30 years ago. And think of all the 3D printing people that make both model trades and stuff. The hobby is healthy. It may not be growing big, but it's also not dying the way the doom and gloomers say. And, but it's always good for clickbait on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, Instagram, if somebody posts, the hobby's dying, we're drawn to the negative. We're drawn to the negative. could be, EFO, but let's face it, we still have the big divide today between the analog guys and the digital guys. So even with everybody agreeing to one digital system, I don't think that helped or hurt the hobby. I just think there's a percentage of people that grow up with trains and have a connection. I think it struggles in America because we, for the most part, don't have a direct connection to trains. You know, riding trains and traveling by train and seeing trains is a daily event in Germany and the UK. In the United States, to 80% of the people that have a connection with trains, it's a nuisance because they're trying to get somewhere and they're stopped in traffic because a train's going through. They're not riding the passenger trains, they're not seeing the world from a train, and that includes me. Until I started riding trains in Germany, trains were a nuisance. Now that I ride trains and I would prefer to travel by train, I do this. Hey, I see Artie is here. Hey, Sir Artie. And the thing is, I'll tell you, even on live streams, like today, okay, I had the hassles. I had the hassles again to start the show off, but for the last hour, things have settled down. But I am watching trains going around, and let me catch this guy. This guy coming around, I've ridden that train, and I immediately remember Joyce and I riding that train to Leipzig. And I look at these Regios and the Munich Nuremberg Express, and I've ridden these type of cars. I've ridden on these trains. Every single train on my layout except that Prussian one and obviously the freight train I've ridden on the main layout. And sitting here even babbling to you guys, looking at Delmenhorst Station over there, there is a part of my soul that goes to Delmenhorst, which is why when I met up with Jean, he's got to come down to Delmenhorst with me. I want to share that joy. When I met up with Artie, took him down to Delmenhorst. Yes, we killed him and we walked him all over the place, but I had to share that little special piece of me. So when I'm running my trains, no matter what condition my layout's in, I can look over to the Delmenhorst station and I'm back in Delmenhorst. And that's why I can sit here for 3 hours and run trains and babble, because I just look at Delmenhorst and 23 years of memories come flooding in. You're still suffering. Yeah, now that I'm running freight, you need to hop a freight trade. I don't know if I want to hop a freight train. I went under a freight train once, but that's a different story. I've been on non-moving freight trains because they would stop in our backyard at this one house we lived in and we would go hop on them. I was 6, 7 years old. Oh, that would be cool, EFO. That would be cool. I am looking forward to trying out a night train. It's either going to be the coolest experience or the worst experience. I can't see it being in the middle. But Joyce and I are going to take the Caledonian Sleeper all the way up from from London to Inverness. And that's like a 9-hour trip overnight. So we're going to do that. And then the rest of the trip in the UK has yet to be decided. You've ridden Class 66, I bet. If you want it to count, it counts. That's like, when we were up in Canada, that was the first time I rode a real train, even though it was a heritage sort of short excursion. It's the first time I've ridden a real train in a real passenger coach and a dining car, because we took 2 trips, in North America. I'm probably easily could, how many different train trips have I taken in Germany? Because, since 2003, all my trips to Germany and riding trains. Wow. I've taken a couple of 100 train trips. But it was my first time in North America. Now the key is to ride a train in America. To ride a train in the United States of America. A nice little train curve, huh? I hear she pulls a little train. I hear she pulls a lot of train. Oh my. We just went NC-17. God, I went the wrong way. Damn it. Where am I going? That was where I was trying to go. Do I have these out of the order I want? Well, no, because I always think of them coming the other way. That's why I... Ba-ding. Rusty Twanger plus Joyce and me standing on the Delmenhorst platform. You need to ride the Gone from Alice Springs. That would be interesting. Hey, Artie, do they still run the one that goes all the way from like Sydney to Perth or Melbourne to Perth? Is that the Gone, or the Gone does that? And how long is the Cross Australia train trip? Well, there's that, Ray. Depends on the type of perv. You're having a vacation in La Plata and stay at the Railroad Hotel. Well, the thing is, this is something that every time Joyce and I start planning our next trip, is that, yes, you all know me from model trains, and I talk about loving to ride trains, but everybody will start saying, oh, when you're here, you got to ride this train. Oh, and you got to go here and ride this train. And the thing is, I am not as much a rail fanner. I love traveling by train, but just to go ride a heritage train is not something like oh, I got to do. Every now and then I'll build myself up. Like when we went to the Molly, I knew about the Molly. I've heard about the Molly for years, and I wanted to do it because it's such a unique experience in that case, and we were going to be in the area. But I'm not going to go to an area just so I can ride a train. If there's some kind of cool train in an area I'm going to, then I'll do it. But Joyce, please forgive her. Please forgive her, my train friends. But Joyce mentioned when we got back from Canada, she said, I think I've had enough train museums for a while. I've had enough train museums for a while. Well, if I'm going to go to Switzerland to ride a train, I want to ride the Glacier Express. Now, maybe the Bemina is one of those, but, oh, I didn't see if I already answered my question. That's the Indian Pacific, okay, not the Gone. And it takes 3 days. Leaves Wednesdays from Sydney to Perth. Okay, so it's the Indian Ocean. I mean, you know, there's a couple of really cool heritage lines that go through some beautiful country in Colorado that, yeah, Joyce and I would do. Now, mind you, riding trains, like Joyce and I want to take the Canadian across Canada. We want to go from Toronto, Canada to however far to the coastline, Vancouver, British Columbia, wherever it goes. We want to ride an Amtrak across the United States, and we want to ride the, I think it's called the Canadian, across Canada, and go see the Rockies. We want to ride the, I think it's called the Canadian. Somebody tell me I'm right or correct me. Hello, Steve's Double O Gauge. Thank you for popping in and saying hello, Sir Steven. We appreciate that. Hello to you and all those near and dear to you. So those are 2 trips Joyce and I want to do, which we'll probably do once she retires, because we'll be able to do one of those train trips and then also go on our wherever vacation we're going to go. Well, no offense, Artie and Sparky. That's why Joyce and I will travel alone on that, incognito. We'll just do what we got to do. Because that was the one thing with Australia that was a little hard for Joyce and me to really, was that there's public transportation, but it wasn't nearly as convenient as in Germany. Now, granted, obviously our last trip to Germany and Denmark, because it was everywhere, trains were just a mess. Now, we were told by a guy in the train industry who doesn't work for Deutsche Bahn or one of the other companies. He had worked in the train industry. He said it's going to be a couple of years. They're redoing a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to be chaos for a couple of years. Yeah, you have to change in Chicago. I think there's one. Yeah, you still change in Chicago. But we'll catch it here in Toledo, and then we'll just take it out west. I think it goes out to like Sacramento and San Francisco. And I think from there you could catch a train and go up to Seattle. So we just might spend 2 weeks doing that. But there are other trains where we've watched the trains going through beautiful country and say, that would be a beautiful trip. There's one in Colorado that's several people have done. There's several in Colorado, but there's one Joyce really liked. One that goes around and near the Rocky Mountains and that. Andy81E, I live in Toledo, Ohio, and there's an Amtrak station here in Toledo, Ohio. So it's probably no more than a 15-minute drive from my house to the train station. 2 of my kids have ridden Amtrak. My daughter's ridden Amtrak to the East Coast and back. My son rode Amtrak to Colorado and back a couple of times. My other daughter, my younger daughter, she's the only one that hasn't ridden trains. I've now ridden trains on this continent, but she's the only one that, of my kids, that hasn't ridden trains in this country. She rode them in Germany, but she hasn't ridden any trains here. But my son and my older daughter have ridden Amtrak, and I would drive them to the station and pick them up. The one that really sucked was when my son was 9 hours late getting back from Chicago. Chicago's only a 4.5-hour drive, and it was a 9-hour delay. And that's why a lot of people around here don't think of trains, because, Amtrak in this area can be very inconsistent. So Toledo is actually a major railroad crossroad, because just like we have I-75 and I-80 and I-90, two of the most important American highways come through Toledo. We're on the line from Detroit to the south and New York to the west and the west to New York. So we're on major railway lines. Now, some of them go south to just south of Toledo. There's Deschler. A lot of people come to Ohio and they'll go just south of Toledo to Deschler or even to Fostoria to catch much more freight going, because they don't like to run the freight through downtown Toledo because of the traffic. Scotland 0-0 Denmark. Hey. So, but of our travels, you know, Germany by far had the best rail system and public transportation system. Now, we haven't been to Japan, which is the best, but as far as we're experienced with, something like, what is it, Japan Shinkansen have been in operation for 60 years, and they've not had one major time delay ever, because that's how the Japanese are. I just saw somebody posted that. Your ex-missus didn't think so. Yeah, I don't think, you know, I'm not really a rail fanner or a train spotter, but if I were to get into it, I don't think Joyce would. Now, Joyce will, when we walk through train stations in Europe, she'll point to locos and say, oh, that looks really cool. That's why I have a Rhine-Ruhr Desiro, Rhine-Ruhr Express Desiro, because we rode that and she liked that. She said, can you get this train? I was like, well, technically, yes, but I already got one pre-ordered from Märklin in the Baden-Württemberg colors. She says, this is kind of cool. I like, this train's really sharp. And I said, well, you know what? And I came home and I figured out I'd save 100 euros if I bought the Rhine-Ruhr Express one from Modell Bahn Union instead of buying the Märklin one. So I bought it. And actually, I wound up saving about 140 euros. And that's before, because the Desiro coming out from Märklin won't be out until November or December, which means we're going to get all the tariffs. So I'm glad I canceled it now, because I don't think I could afford the tariffs on it. Hey, there is Darren, Sir Darren of Canadian Locomotive Logistics. No, it was quite pleasant, but it was short, and you know, it was a short excursion. You know, Joyce and I think the longest train ride we've taken was our train ride from Hamburg to Munich one year. That was about 7 hours. Actually, to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. We changed trains in Munich. And the whole trip was about 7.5 hours with waiting. But we don't necessarily like long train rides, but we do enjoy 2 to 3 hour train rides better than driving a car. Hey, Sir Raymond. Yeah, I don't know about that. There are certain things they won't deliver. Let's put it that way. Regular postal letters and things like that, they're delivering. But yeah, any orders. So I'm done buying from overseas. It is going to suck. It is going to suck to have spent as much money as I did at Lipa, and I love Lipa, and not be able to buy anything from Lipa for the foreseeable future. Although some people were telling me, and I think Jean Ricard was one who said, oh, Lipa said they're not shipping to America. I asked Lipa. They're shipping, but they ship through UPS. So what happens is UPS tax on the tariffs. So you buy from Lipa, and they'll charge you the price you would pay from Lipa, including my discounts. But it's the it's the UPS delivery that's going to cost a fortune. You got the 00 Acura scale. Oh, I need to look at Biohack snowplow. Oh, cool. I want to get a modern era snowplow. I've seen era 4 ones and that, and I thought they could look kind of cool. Now, like, my layout needs a snowplow. No, it doesn't, but my layout needs a snowplow. Yeah, send them to Australia, and then I'll pick them up when we come down or come over there. Or you bring them up. You bring them up when. The problem is, I think they charge. Because see, that was, with Australia. We hung out with Artie, but the memories, the cool things were the little things, swimming in the ocean, the Tasman Sea, the Pacific Ocean, for the first time, and seeing the Southern Cross. I do have an interest in astronomy. I do have an interest in astrophysics and astronomy, and quantum mechanics and all the related stuff to it. But I was really eager to see what the night sky looked like in the southern hemisphere. And it was clearly different. And Artie drove us to the top of a mountain late at night where we could get a clear view of the sky, and I got to see the Southern Cross for the first time. And I've always loved the song Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash from their 87 comeback album. But oh my God, that song, every time I hear it now, I actually start getting emotional. Every time that line comes in, when you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you came this way. And I just get so... Because it was such an epic moment to see the Southern Cross, the constellation that's on the New Zealand and the Australian flag, and to be standing on the top of a small mountain in Australia looking up to a pitch black sky and just seeing the stars. That was so cool. Yeah, I'm not a UPS fan. I've always been a bit upset that Lippe, my German train shop, that Lippe went from DHL. Well, actually, Lippe is now FedEx. Lippe is now FedEx. So I don't know how FedEx will handle the tariff, but I'm sure they'll tack on huge charges. On the bright side, there is nothing out right now I want to specifically order. There are things I'm looking for. I'm hoping I can find a French 231 somewhere or a 241. Actually, there was one French 231 by Märklin on eBay, but somebody must have bought it because I can't find it now. One package is over 2,000. Yeah, but this is now the whole American bit. And again, it's going to turn into politics, so I want to leave it go. But God, I would pray that regardless of your political views, the tariff system that we've instituted in the last 9 months is an absolute idiocy. And if you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. The museum, 2 more Great Northern 57s. Hey, there's Sir Randall. Good to have you back, my friend. And there's Sir Brian of Clintonville. But that's just it. I have nothing specifically on order right now. I don't have anything pre-ordered. My last pre-order was the Märklin Christmas car. And actually, I think there's a book that's still on pre-order. So I don't know how that's going to work. Okay. No, my first experience was a $11 car I ordered from Canada this week. It's actually it actually goes with the French cars here. It's the dining car that completes the set. It's the it's the dining car that completes the set, except it's a different color. It's a very interesting blue color. It's a CIWL dining car, but it even by model number it goes with these set of cars, because I've had so many people help me identify these cars. EFO, Raymond, a couple other people on my Facebook page, helped me identify these cars, and then I found them on eBay and found the running numbers, and the dining car I found goes with these cars I've got here, all part of the Meccano series, but it's right in the serial number line. So it's like 1739, 740, 741, 742, 743. So it's, yeah. Compagnie Internationale Wagon Lease. Yes. Compagnie. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sir Jeff from Jeff's Train World is here. Welcome in. Great to have you here. For example, I've got this great set of tin plates that mostly came from Horst in Bamberg, Germany. Not Herb from Canada, but Horst from Bamberg. I did get a couple of similar cars from Herb. You have the blue first class cars, the green second class cars, and then the red dining car. So it's not uncommon to have the dining car be a different color. And you guys know that more than me, but it's more common than rare. And I guess I don't have a preference. I do like uniformity. I love an ICE with that simple all white with the red stripe and then the black windows like a second stripe. The Azuma that way. I like it with the railjet. All the cars line up with the stripe coming off the locomotive and then carrying on through to the Steuerwagen. There's some British cars where they run waves and then the waves just carry on to the next car. The Caledonian Sleepers do that as one, but like the LNER cars, the old Virgin red and white wave ones. I love that kind of stuff where it just kind of flows. I'm a sucker for a cool looking livery. There are some liveries that I think are very boring. There are some East German and West German trains that were just all green, and sometimes I find that boring. But if the car style is kind of cool, or you have a really cool loco with it, because those French cars, these French cars here, those are all green. That could be kind of boring, but they flow so nicely in their design into this loco that this loco makes them pop more than they would behind a black loco or a red loco. They really, really pop. They just create a flow. When I got these cars out, and I just grabbed this loco to see if the color matched, and I set them here a couple of weeks ago when we got back and I had those cars. I was messing with the cars and going, oh crap, I can't run them on my O layout or my double O layout, or I mean my HO or double O layout, but I put them on the track here with this loco just to look at them and get a sense of the flow, and my eyes just went, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is a gorgeous train. And it's French. Oh, what a gorgeous train. And I had to run them. So I started working on this loco, to get it working, which I did, and I ran it in that video. Now, some people were criticizing how it ran, but I was like, do you guys know that a week before I made that video, that Roco wasn't even running? You know, come on. Give me a little credit here. I got it running. Uh-oh, what died? Well, hello, MM. Welcome in. We got a knight you. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. Hey, MM, welcome in. You are now allowed to post a link to your channel if you have one, or any other model train or hobby-related channel. It can be a comedy channel. The only thing we do not allow is political stuff and religion. No politics, no religion. Oh, I have more than 12. I have more than 12. For example, let's just go through them. Oh, the number's not on it. See, I don't even count my Nexi Solo as one. Camera 1. Camera 2. Camera 3. Camera 15, because it was the 15th one added. Camera 15. Camera 13. Camera 4. 5. 6. Oh, I'm sorry. 7. 6. Because 1 through 6 are the original 6 cameras. There's 12. 7, 12, 8. 14. 9. 10 is the down low. And then this is the, this is not a camera. This is not a camera. But then there are others I already went through. So we got up to 10, and then you saw 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus I have the GoPro, which I can't get working today because my Mona server needs updated with our new internet. And then I've got 2 tablets attached to the computer, and those cameras will work. So what did I have? 15. So 2 tablets, 17. GoPro, 18. And my phone cam. So, let me see. Let's do that. And then I have various mixtures. So I have around 20 cameras going on. See, here's my phone cam. So you can see all my trains up on the wall there. That's where I store my either short, easy to move on and off the layout, or my special trains. And then over there behind the flags, I have shelves where all my Locos are when I'm not using them. And then the Herb collection is on the wall over there. So, yep, I got cameras everywhere. You got 3 engines not working well. I'm sorry to hear that. Got 3 that work and 3 that don't work. Exactly. That's what we're about. We're here to all share a good thing, except when my trains act up. And then you can share a laugh, and I share a cuss. But, see, the funny thing is, if I hold this up close, it's nice and clear. The minute I try to do long, it goes fuzzy. But there, I'll turn it off. But that's the phone cam. So yeah, I've got around 20 cameras that I can put on this layout at various times. That's not a kitchen. It's a bar. It's a wet bar. Yes, this was a basement. This is our basement, which is half the size of our house. Our house, people don't get it. I mean, Artie could back it up on us. I mean, it's relative because, you know, real estate in different places. But by American standards, our house is small. It's a bungalow. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. But the basement is huge. And then somebody that owned the house before us converted the attic into a master suite bedroom. So it's got a lot more space. But when you look at our house from the outside, it's a small house by American standards. So yeah, the train room is big. The house is small. But this room, I don't know what's the best long view. This room, for 20 years or more, was my kids' playroom when they were little. This is because we got a small yard, but when it was raining, I had a library on the walls here where all my books were, and then an entertainment center on the wall. Eventually, also on the other wall, I had a 55-gallon fish tank. And a 29-gallon fish tank next to it. But yeah, this is where the kids played. And then we have the laundry room back that way, and then the room behind me. It's probably easier to point this out with the regular cam, the solo cam. So that door, that's the laundry room. And then that door, I had always planned to make a spare bedroom for when my kids got older, but it wound up never being needed. And it became my work and hobby room. That's where I played most of my war games and had my hobby stuff before I got into model trains. When my kids got older, this is where their friends came over and hung out because they knew we were a safe house. So my kids would have friends over and they could play video games, watch TV, whatever. So they played in here. They hung out with their friends here. And then we also hosted family parties here. And then, yeah, you can see back there is, I'll turn it that way. That's the bar. There's a little countertop, a refrigerator, and then a sink back there. And the thing is, when I built Generation 2 of this table, I asked Joyce, could I get rid of the bar? We don't use it anymore, other than it's now my work area. Because if she had let me take that bar out, this side would have gone a lot closer to that door. And this would be a much bigger area for Delmenhorst. All right, enough of my face on camera. Let's go back to trains. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old. It could be Randall. Like I said, it is the wall-to-wall measurement, Randall, is 30 feet. And basically it's 30 feet, and this main part of the room is 30 feet by if you were to take the doors out and the wall, the false wall behind me, well, actually, it's a real wall. It's not a false wall, but it's not a weight support wall. That was added in when they finished the basement. It's a 30 by 30 square, or 30 foot by 27 foot. But my layout is, the main two tables are 23 feet long. No, 22 feet long. It's 8 foot, 6 foot, and 8 foot. So that's 22 feet. And then the longer side is 12.5 feet long. And there's another maybe 7.5 feet to the laundry door. So yeah, it's about 20 feet. This area is 20 feet long. All right, Kieran, have a good night. You take care. Oh, you saw the coffee machine. That is actually, is that my son's coffee machine, or is that the one Joyce bought for visitors? Joyce and I don't drink coffee, but we have a coffee maker in case somebody stays with us and they want coffee. And Joyce wants it out of the kitchen when we don't have people over who want to make coffee. Like when the German teachers during my exchange program would stay in our house, they all drank coffee. So we always had a small coffee maker for them. But yeah, it just sits there because we got no place else to throw it. Oh, he just lost a bunch of people. Sorry. Andy, no neighbor has ever come in and seen it. Artie, I think, came down and saw it when he was here, but he was sick most of the time, so I don't remember, because I know I don't think we ran trains together, but I think Artie came down to see it before. Artie, did we run trains together? 2 guys from my former model train club have been here. And then Tom, from Tom's Märklin trains and layout, he's been here a couple of times. So Artie has seen it. And that's it. For outsiders, that's it. Nobody else has seen my layout except for family. So I think that's 4 people. Oh yeah, I mean, I would love to have friends come over and hang out and just run the trains and stop the trains themselves. Oh, that's right. We did do the live stream. No ruler emoji. So that's right. We did do that live stream. See, I forgot. But yeah, it is very rare. I had a colleague that's into model trains, Japanese teacher from Japan. And he was into N-scale. But he wanted me to find a 3-rail Shinkansen and run it, and then he would come over. He's got a big, I think it's 5 1/4 or 7.5, 5 1/2 or 7 1/4 inch scale train that goes around his house in the suburbs of Toledo. That's how big he's into it. If you ever watch my live stream from the Toledo Train Show, I've interviewed him the last couple of years because he started going to the show. How was my drive from Canada? Well, it was beautiful until we hit the border. And then it took us longer to get home than it took to get there. We were hoping to be home by noon. We didn't get home till 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was just, the construction is just insane. Remember, someone said I was having a lot of fun, but I was sick as a dog and in pain. Well, there's that, but you really didn't start showing your... Nobody makes a 3-rail Shinkansen yet. Yeah, and it really needs to be done. Piko, you're probably the most likely to do that, Piko, if you're spying in. 3-rail Shinkansen, now. If only I had that kind of influence. I still live for the day when somebody will walk up to me that isn't a fellow YouTuber at a YouTube meet and greet that'll say, oh my God, it's the Model Train Outsider, but, you know, very few of my viewers are Americans, so... Oh, wow, that's crazy, Chris. There's no room for a fugitive to hide under my layout. Well, unless the fugitive is really small. Or a cat. I don't think I've put this camera on today, so let's get that beautiful view. Yeah, Raymond, but it wouldn't be 3-rail. The Shinkansen would be cool. Somebody's got to make one. It would probably be $1,200. Yeah, the feline felon. I had an interesting experience yesterday morning. I was hearing strange sounds coming from outside our back door window. So I went to the patio and looked on my deck. I went to the patio door and looked out on my deck, and there were 2 cats and a raccoon all fighting each other. Like, I don't know who showed up first, but there was a big cat, one of our old cats, and a raccoon, and they were all fighting because Joyce had put a food bowl out for our now outdoor cat. And yeah, they were all going at each other. Someone has to be. Trust me, Brian, good luck if you can find it, but many of us have looked. I have looked for one for years. Heck, try to find an HO scale one in North America. Kato makes HO scale Shinkansens, but they're all in Japan. And there's very few of them, and they cost a fortune on eBay. Interspecies brawl. Yep. I don't know who won. I came to the door and went, get out of here, and then they all split. But my money would have been on the raccoon. I don't care how tough cats are. Raccoons are smarter and have just as bad a temper as any cat. So I don't know if they took it elsewhere to finish it, because I came out like, I don't want some dead animal. To be honest, while they were fighting, I was praying for one of the bald eagles in our neighborhood to swoop in and take all 3 of them. You know, I just want the eagle to be that, Wing Commander, Wing Commander. This is Foxtrot Alpha Beta going in for the pickup. And just see that big giant bald eagle fly in and take all 3. Well, hey, Eric, how are you? Yeah, PAW, Powerful Animal Rustlers, or Professional Animal Rustlers. There's our good friend Eric. I hope you're feeling well. Yeah, raccoons are bastards. They are smart, but they're bastards. And that's the problem, because they want to get into mischief, and you can try to prevent them from getting into mischief, and they'll figure a way around your defenses. You know, we always talk about whales and dolphins and chimpanzees being smart. We're only a couple of centuries away from a real-life Rocky Raccoon from Marvel Comics existing, because damn, those things are smart. Oh, we get the occasional house spider. Nothing too serious. There are probably a few house spiders living up underneath, but it's really weird, and I don't want to jinx myself, but since I've had 2 rough weeks in a row to start my live streams off, today was how many things could uncouple. But spiders understand. I will leave them alone if they stay under the table, because they'll keep other bugs away. But if they come up and start moving on to my layout, they're gone. And I'm not like my brother-in-law, who will pick them up, put them on his hand, and carry them out and let them live free outside. Nope, they get smished. And I leave their bloody remains as a reminder to the others, don't cross the line. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with us, Darren. It was great to have you here, just as it was great to meet you in person a couple of weeks ago. Hey, there is Sir Anthony of Choberton Junction. But it's just, yeah, raccoons are just, evil little geniuses. What does a spider do when it's bored? Surf the web. Oh, we're gonna start all the spider dad jokes. Where does a terrorist spider look for information? On the dark web. Where does a spider find his naughty videos? On the porn web. You got your switches up and running, but still have decoupling issues. Ah. Yeah, I started this live stream with a bunch of uncoupling issues, but we seem to have sorted them now. No, I keep everything on one channel. I've got friends. No, really, I do. I've got friends. I've got friends that have multiple channels, and that's fine. But me, I would wind up spending too much time on one and ignoring the others. I keep everything in-house, which to some degree is probably a detriment because, like, I used to have a lot of German channels that followed my trains. And by the way, I saw him come in and I didn't say hello. Hello to Craig from CMD Models. Hello, Sir Craig. I apologize. I forgot to say hello. I finished the thought and forgot you had come in. So if you're still in the background, howdy, howdy, hi. But I like to keep it all in-house. But when I started, and especially when I started doing the Märklin Outsider series back in 2019, when my channel really first blossomed, and all those videos, you know, they got 2,000 views when I had like 400 to 500 subs. Because I was doing Märklin stuff in English. And so I got a lot of European channels that started following me. But once I started doing the other comedy stuff and stopped doing the Märklin show stuff, and I wouldn't do certain things like show them how to wire this into JMRI or show them how to do this in Train Controller or show them how to do block detection because that's what they wanted. I told them I'd translate the videos that are out there for them, but no, they wanted to see me do it. And I was like, A, I can't afford to buy all that stuff, and B, I'm not putting it on here, as I've said many times. So people don't know what to make of this channel. And then I've got the, you know, for first-time viewers, my introductory video for first-time viewers where, you know, I kind of jokingly say, I'm here to talk you out of it. Because I'm not a serious channel. And Germans especially tend to want, you know, it's okay to, you know, have a nice sense of humor, but Germans, especially Germans, they want to see somebody that is progressing on making a proper layout. That ain't me. And Americans tend to not want to see European train channel. Now, again, if I were building stuff on the layout, that would draw people in, but I'm not building. I don't do live construction and do how-to videos and stuff like that. If I do a video, it's the one that the algorithms hate the most, where I take a picture and say, here's how it looks when I'm started. Okay, here's what it looks like now. Click, okay, now I'm done. I don't show me working and doing the progression. I'll have pictures or quick video at stages, but you never see what I'm doing and how I do it because I just can't work that way with a camera on. Oh, that's cool. I love European trains too, but I've grown by watching American channels. You know, I started watching UK channels and fell in love with UK trains, and then I started watching American channels. But I'll tell you, the first thing that really got me was about 4 years ago. I went to our local train show, the Toledo, Greater Toledo Train Show, the Great Toledo Train Show. not Greater, the Great Toledo Train Show. And I saw a set of coaches. They were New York Central. They were black with a grayish silver stripe that said New York Central in white, printed in the stripe. And I thought those were some of the coolest looking coaches I had ever seen, even my European stock. And I just thought, damn, those would look cool running around my layout. And I realized this is an American train. It's like, wow, Americans make cool trains too. And then I started following American channels more. I have an Aussie friend and no Aussie trains. No, but I do have Aussie Cargo. I'm running one of them. But yeah, it's, you know, it's not uncommon to meet an Australian that is all about Australian trains and nobody else. But most Aussies do Australian trains, UK trains, American trains, because you have all of them in Australia, modified to work in Australia. But you've Australia for years often got second hands from the UK or. But yeah, I just do my thing. I put my comedy up, and if 20 people get a laugh, cool. I'd like videos to get more views, but I put stuff out there. I do nothing according to the Märklin algorithm except for one thing, which is I live stream regularly, and I only do it once a week, which is probably why it's kind of special for a lot of us, because it's the one time a week we see each other. All right, good night, Dirk. As always, a pleasure to have you here. Yeah, Aaron, outside of certain sporting events, I watch YouTube, even to watch movies or Prime. But yeah, I don't watch standard American TV anymore. The shows are kind of stupid. I'm very much America has dumbed ourselves down with the type of TV shows we put on. There just isn't, as a teacher, I hated the way teachers in schools were portrayed in most TV shows. Too many repetitive cop dramas and medical dramas and blah, blah, blah. And reality TV shows were the death of me. We've made way too many people famous for having no talents, other than Botox lips or stupidity. You hear that, Kardashians? So yeah, I'm watching YouTube videos or downloaded movies. So yeah, and to be honest, most of my free time I'm multitasking, so I'm working on something on my computer or down here on my layout, and I'm watching one YouTube video and listening to another, because I'm not subscribed to nearly as many channels as some people I know, but I watch every video from every channel I'm subscribed to, and the only thing I don't try to comment on is I cannot keep up with the shorts and and even the posts. I don't even get notifications for posts, so if I catch it, I might read it and go, oh, very interesting. But like all the shorts, I will watch them and give them a thumbs up, but I don't always comment. Occasionally I will, but also I have some channels that put up 10 shorts a day, and my shorts feed just gets filled up from one channel or two channels. And so some of you post one post and I've missed it, because post one short and I've missed it because I just don't scroll back in the feed. It's just, there's just too much there. So I just keep, I watch the main videos, and sometimes it can seem overwhelming. I go, how am I going to get all these videos in today? Yeah, and see, Craig, that drives me crazy. You know, the people who go, why are you putting African trains on there? I love your African trains, and I love your Austrian trains. I love everything you put on your channel. And if they don't like it, they don't have to watch. Oh, African train. Okay, I'm not going to watch. But to complain about it, it's this mentality that we modern humans have developed that, okay, we've always had this sense of entitlement, and even cancel culture, which, again, political, but, you know, long before we started talking about other stuff, there were people that, I don't like that show on TV, or that show goes against my religion, get it off the air. Or that show promotes a value I disagree with, get it off the air. And, you know, there was a time where you couldn't have a husband and wife. If you go back to, you know, the innocent TV show, the most innocent TV show, The Brady Bunch, had a scandalous episode because it's the first show ever in primetime television that had the husband and wife in bed next to each other under the covers. There were rules in Hollywood that, first of all, you couldn't have a husband and wife in bed together, or if the wife was sitting on the bed, the husband had to be standing. Go back and watch the old Dick Van Dyke Show. If she's in the bed, he has to be standing outside of the bed, because having them in bed together, that was sex. But, you know, so there were always people that offends me, that get it off the air. How dare they have a husband and wife in bed together? It's suggestive. It's naughty. But since YouTube comes along, where we pick the video we watch, we seem to have this sense of, how dare you put up a video? I clicked on this video and you're putting on something I don't like. Damn you. And it's like, it's not my fault you chose to watch my video. It is not my fault you clicked on it. I made a video. I put it out there. You can watch it, not watch it, and move on. But too many people on YouTube just, it was on their feed, and therefore you have to entertain them. You have to do what I like. Well, no, I don't, you know. Hi there.
Hi.
She of the injured footy.
Yeah.
Let's get you on
All
camera
right,
here.
so hi, everybody. Hi, Tom. So, hello, Jean. Nice
Yep.
that you're here.
All of you who are used to seeing her relaxed summer face, she's back to, I just got done with a week of work face.
Hi, Greg. Hi there, Artie. Hi, Valley. That's Chris. Hi, Lee. Hi, Iman. Hi, Choberton.
No. It's not high valley, it's low valley. It's mountain high, valley low.
Gotcha. Hi, Eric. Hey, Andy. Oh, wait. Hello, Sir Alan. Hi, Hot Dog Andy. Hello, Alan Reynolds.
Sit back, relax. Relax. You are sitting like this, like you're ready to play football,
gotcha.
really. You got your...
Okay. Oh, yeah, a lot today.
Well, until you mean, gee, what you gonna do when you get the world's biggest pythons around you?
Oh, yeah. It was a long week.
The Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished editing scene 3 this morning.
Hi, Andrew. Arch West is Andrew, right?
Yes. Yes, it's one of the Andys.
Yes, one of the Andrews. I'm getting better. Oh, boy. And somebody said they thought it was the Flintstones that were in bed together. I don't
What's
really
that?
know. Was the Flintstones in bed together? I don't know.
People got offended by your shorts. Well, I try not to show my shorts on YouTube. But yeah, there just is this sense of entitlement.
Yes, Looney Tune
I
cartoons.
clicked on this
Nobody
video,
was
so
doing it.
it needs to be what I want it to be.
Although I always say all these warnings were from my generation.
Or, here's the one that gets me, and I know this might split some of the audience in half on this. The people who complain about lighting and sound and blah, blah, blah. Not everybody is a production pro. Not everybody has a home studio. they're doing the best they can or the most they want to do.
Plumber's crack, yeah.
So when people start complaining about that, like, well, you need to make your videos brighter. Well, I can't afford the $10,000 it would cost to relight my basement. Okay.
You got yourself NASCAR diecast. Okay, your collection.
Oh, that's your
nice.
collection.
Yeah,
I've got all the old original Dodge. Well, not original,
92
but
Mallard, Dodge and
when
Trucker.
Dodge came
Good.
back, we got all kind of Dodge NASCARs.
I am tired, Mons. It's been a long week, even though it was 4 days long.
Long week. She hasn't been sleeping. She's got a foot that's got. All right, because even I have had struggle saying it. What were you diagnosed with last night?
Deep bone bruise.
That is not the word. I can say that. Plantar.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I know it. I just my brain all so what? Fasciitis.
What?
Plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah, it was a new doctor. They took X-rays. He says you have very high arches. I says, yes, he do. He says, well, that makes a lot of sense that you have plantar fasciitis because you are coming down and it's hard on the tendon.
See, when she walks barefoot, that high arch gets flattened a bit, and
Yeah.
it's stretching that tendon to trash.
Stretching the tendon, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I'm tired.
Stacy
It was a long
Compton's
week.
92 Dodge Intrepid. I've got that one.
Yeah.
I've got that one.
One light in the kitchen when you do your reviews. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that's it.
Get some Birkenstocks. You think those are better? Huh.
Birkenstock's one of the big names.
Yeah,
like
I
Doc
don't.
Martens.
No, I've got
She's got
yeah.
good shoes.
Yeah.
But again, it's not the shoe, it's the foot. She wears what they call orthotics. I think most
Yeah.
of you know what orthotics are.
Yeah. It's
But
an
they're
insert.
hard plastic shells that
Yeah, that-
conform to the shape of her foot
of the foot,
and then
yeah.
flatten down so that she can
Yeah.
wear shoes without
And
tearing
my
her feet apart.
feet are also, they're almost like moving like to a C. If I put flip-flops on, my foot is out of it in 3 steps sideways. Screaming inside now? Wow. So, yeah, summer's ending soon.
Your wife has orthotics. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't
right.
I don't know. Joyce isn't going to bare her feet on TV, but yeah. I mean, I've always
they
felt
told me
bad
I
for her
have
once
to
I
wear
saw her.
shoes.
Her arch is so bad.
Yeah, it's very high. And it's funny because my younger brother has flat feet. So between the two of us,
You're
it would have been
normal.
normal, yeah. He has flat feet and I have high arches. Our middle daughter's feet are very flat too.
And the thing is, I try to give her foot rubs now and then,
Yeah, which is nice. You can rub them now if you want.
but she's also very ticklish.
That's true.
So I'm trying to rub her feet, and she's
But yeah, I mean, I thought I really had something under the ball of my foot, and then he lifted up my second toe, and it was He said, yeah, it's from the toe. It just goes that way, and that's why you're swollen under there. Is why it hurts so much.
Yep.
You have one flat foot, but the other one isn't? That's weird. When I was a child, the tibias were curved. So, they always laugh because I wore the braces on my legs at night, had a piece between it to keep it straight. They said they could almost pick me up by that, and I got teased by that with the family a lot. But they never fixed
did
the
that
feet.
for me. Mine actually curve a bit.
Yeah,
My calves
no,
curve
they
quite-
fixed that, but they didn't go for the feet.
Well, I'd be 6'5" if they fixed that.
Yeah, no kidding. So, hi, Kiwi
No,
Dave.
it's not gout. It is a damaged.
No.
It's a damaged tendon in her foot because of
Yeah.
her arches.
Yeah. So anyway, and it's it's the heavier you are, the
Sir Dave
the
of
worse
New
it
Zealand.
is. I've gained
Great
some
to
weight.
have you
I need
here,
to get it
our
out
old
when I'm
friend.
working as
and
it
to
using
all
now.
those watching in the background and later, the Marks and Colin and
Yep.
David and all you guys that watch on makeup. I'm really
What
for.
grows on your feet, mistletoe?
I don't want to say anything. I don't want
Yeah.
to be taken negative, but I am sad that I am missing Mark from Dunnacle Dad's Thursday streams.
Yeah.
It's always been tough, but I could usually get about half an hour in with Kyan.
Right.
But now I have to pick up Kyan at 3, so I get to watch like the first 5 minutes of it, and I don't always go in and chat. And then I gotta get
Yeah.
ready to leave, and then I get there, I pick him up, and by the time we get back, it's almost over.
Yeah, my dad had gout.
Yeah, gout can be very painful.
Yeah, it is. All right. I'll do my daisy. If you haven't hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button.
Yeah, you had to do God, you had to do Bell Buster last night.
I did Bell Buster last night, right?
And that was more lines.
Okay, get your coffee already.
That was more lines in
It's
one
early in
scene
the
than
morning.
she's had in 3
Ever,
years.
yeah, it was a lot.
Three-
She's husky. I'm husky though.
Two seasons and 4 Christmas specials.
All right, Eric, you take care of yourself, huh?
Nighty night, Eric.
No, my 4th graders, all 3 classes, they don't stop talking, and I am getting way after them now. I have memorized all the boys in the other 2 classes. I know my homeroom. Next week it's going for the girls. It takes me forever to learn names nowadays. But anyway, Royal girl, I told her, I think I told him I was going to try to learn how to crochet after I retire. Yeah, it's circling. Doggone it. Yeah, Andrew, hit the like.
Yeah, we froze, but it's back.
Well,
I'm on OBS.
oh, I got
You might have to refresh yours.
Okay,
there
nope,
it
it
is.
stopped. Okay, so sorry. That was a short freeze. Yeah, we noticed it was buffering. He's trying to do it all right. I say.
Well, I'm on OBS and not StreamYard.
Okay.
And
holding up?
I did an hour-long test after
Sure.
lunch this morning, and then a half an
Yeah.
hour about 10 minutes before I went
Okay,
live,
and it works.
and everything was working.
Where's your color? Where it tells you? Oh, it's on the bottom.
right
Gotcha.
there.
Now I see it.
Because this one never said we lost connection,
Right. It just sort of
but
spun.
it's the OBS monitor.
Yeah, we can see it down there. Yep. Okay, well that wasn't long, so good.
So we're back. If you didn't know back, refresh your...
Yeah. Yeah.
Louie, I say me gotta go.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Louie,
So, yeah, this is this year's TPS shirt, focusing on attendance.
Yeah.
Every day matters. Well, and yeah, I had all mine. President 11 doesn't work. And there were 4 missing from, I think, both of the other 2 classes.
It's bloody
If
cold
you
down
guys
there.
all better be here on Monday. I got a zoo person coming.
Well, you have to redefine cold as Australian, because I don't think it's as cold in Australia as it was when you went to Amherst last year.
Yeah. Yeah, already. I don't know. I notice a lot of people in Australia have a heat pump, which is a very effective way to heat and cool. It doesn't use very much energy. Having good time. Hello, having good time. That's a new person.
You've got that one on your playlist. You only have one playlist, Randall? I have about 80 playlists, just
Oh,
to
yeah,
go
we
by
got a lot.
moods.
It's 55 in Michigan. That's
Oh, wow.
cool.
Welcome
We're
in,
in the-
GRE 2057.
We're in the
We're not that cool here, are we?
no, it's
We were-
70s, but very windy today. So I was doing an activity with my kids, my science. They had to build paper airplanes. My autistic kid had very many meltdowns through that.
Oh,
But
boy.
yeah, that was something. He had 2 days and he couldn't do anything. So
I said, me gotta go.
yeah, it's really been cool. It's gonna warm up though. We're gonna be back in the upper 80s to 90.
It was 52 Fahrenheit when I went for my bike ride this
Right.
morning, which is
Yeah,
the
I
coldest
think
it's been
it's-
since the
Yeah,
spring
that's what
rides.
told me. Yeah, it's 71 in Toledo. So, and it is,
That's weather. Now over to Dick with Sports.
and it's sunny, so it feels good, but the wind, like I say, we were flying paper airplanes. So the first one was hilarious, because no, that was a bad idea. A lot of different directions the winds were going. It was circled. So we went on the north side of the building, where at least the south one was blocked. Ooh, that's a chilly morning. But yeah, no, it's gonna, the whole pattern switching around again. It's gonna be warm again toward the end of September. Like, I'm kind of over the warm weather. Yeah, that's cold. That would be the winter coat walking to school. So far, I've been okay in my light jacket. Oh, it sure is. Yeah, cold is very relative. It snowed there twice up at the roads to
Oh,
the
wow.
falls. Wow. Gotcha. Well, I mean, you're
Oh,
almost...
Greg, there are so many people. There are so many
almost
people with the
done.
name Richard, and all the way through,
No.
like the NASCAR driver that just died recently, Richard Trickle, Dick Trickle. Really, your parents named you that? Your last name's Trickle, and your parents named you Richard?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, they didn't think
The
that one
abuse
through
that kid
enough.
must have put up with?
Yeah, it made your legs stiff. Yeah, I get that. No, I do have a Harold. That's an old name.
And then there's
Mama thinks he
locally, there's a
doesn't do
guy,
anything
Dick
wrong, though.
Richards. Like, come on, people, come up with... Your name was Richard Richards. Were they going for a Richie Rich vibe? I don't know.
Okay, well, hi, Steve.
Mav! Sir
Hey, it's
Mav!
Mav. Hi,
How
Mav.
have you been, sir? It's been a little
We have not
while.
seen
I
you
hope
in a
you're
while.
okay.
Big Trickle was a great name.
You have a playlist for each layout. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Is it, I mean, specifically dedicated to layout, or you have 6 playlists for the 6 layouts?
Yeah. Richer head. Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's...
So dickhead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And did I see Stormy Skies coming in?
Yeah,
It's
Steve. Steve is
okay,
here.
that was the Steve. Because we had a Steve in earlier. See, we could do a local Toledo call joke.
Yeah, we could.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Yep. That was a commercial of
For
a
50
car
years.
sales.
For 50 years.
Car salesman?
Car Stereo 1.
Yeah, that's
Car
the thing with
Stereo 1.
stereos.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, you've been listening. Hey, Leslie.
If your last name is Bobby, you have to name your kid Ricky Bobby. I mean, I don't mind giving kid unique names, but don't give your kid names that are going to get them
Oh,
picked
that
on in
just
school.
absolutely can't help him getting or her getting picked on. I have a kid with the last name of Keister, which is a little tricky there. By German, it would be Keister,
Yeah, it's because it's
which
K-E-I.
would have been a little bit easier on the family, I think. You know, because Keister is another name
Yeah,
for your
go back to
fanny.
the German pronunciation, then you don't have to deal with the joke.
Yeah, you don't deal with the jokes.
You have 6 or more playlists. Yeah, I easily have 80
Anthony
playlists.
has a whole lot, although they need to be formatted correctly.
Well, it's not that. It's that all the new
Music
devices
players, right.
don't read the old Windows
Right.
media files.
Right. So it's a little frustrating.
music
I don't have a
files.
lot of music on my thing, even though I have a lot of music. Yeah, Oktoberfest starts next week, right? Oktoberfest? Anthony's doing Oktoberfest.
2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks from tonight.
Okay.
We're doing the first
Well, it is only...
first annual Oktoberfest on the Model Train
It is only
Outsider.
September 5th, so there's a few more weeks to go. Makes sense.
Apparently I missed the joke. Yeah, Oktoberfest starts 2 weeks from this Sunday. Well, I thought it was a reference to the movie Ricky Bobby. I just never seen it. Yeah, Mick was here earlier. Mick opened the bar, but he is in sunny Spain, where it
Oh.
is now. It's going on midnight, so he
Wow.
probably tuckered out a while
Oh,
ago.
no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, it's another hour ahead. Do you have
But-
a Halloween wagon? He's a glow-in-the-dark Piko.
Yeah, but I've tried where I changed the file type, and my playlist still won't read them.
Oh, hopefully.
My phone, my Windows media playlist reads everything, and my car reads everything, but my phone, my Android phone,
Nope.
will not read a bunch of the
No,
songs,
doesn't. I find that very frustrating.
or it'll read 3 songs out of 40 on a playlist.
Right.
Because, yeah, now, mind you, about a quarter of my playlist are Beatles. Because I have each album individually.
Yeah, it is.
I have each album individually. Then I have
Talladega
Beatles
Nights.
rockin'. They're more rock and roll, heavy rock and roll stuff.
He just groups them differently.
And then Beatles ballads, their soft love songs and stuff like that. And then I have the entire Beatles, you know, in order of release. Every song the Beatles ever recorded in order of release. Talladega Nights, right, yeah. Again, like I said, I never saw the movie. So I just remember the character Ricky Bobby, but there was more to the title. Talladega Nights, the story of Ricky Bobby or something like that. 2 boxes coming, 1 has departed. Yep, you went to Chester.
Oh, that's nice.
Chester, nope, never mind.
Yeah,
Can't do that one.
right, yeah, stop that one. That's goodly. Yeah, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, yeah. The only time I cared about NASCAR was when Dodge was in it. We won it, and then Dodge canceled. Actually, Dodge didn't cancel it. Chrysler took us out of it.
Right.
Dodge would have happily stayed. Supposedly Dodge is going back in, but I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, you were talking about YouTube playlists. Oh, see.
Ah, okay.
I was talking music playlists.
And we went for music, yeah. There's a thunder. I can't say that right.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday!
Yeah. Yep. Surname Lloyd, married a lady also named Lloyd. I asked him to name his son if they had one Lloyd, so he would be Lloyd, and open account as Lloyd's Bank.
Oh my God. No, parents need to think.
Oh, you
Think
live near
before naming
Chester
your
now.
kids.
Mav is near Chester, so he moved.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I knew you moved. Or did you move again since you moved a few months ago?
Hi, Aaronville. It was a long day. Dodge coming back to the
Dodge is coming back to the truck
Okay.
series, which is funny since Dodge name isn't on the trucks anymore.
Just tiring. You know, you have to train these kids at the beginning of the year, and it's not taking real well.
Well, having a good time. I know to go you a night at the round boy table. You may now post a link to your channel or any
Anybody
channel
else's
as
channel?
long as it is not
Okay,
political
just
or
one
religious.
room. Okay, gotcha, ma'am.
No, I skate just the one move. Okay.
Yep.
I'm still mad at Fiat for taking the name.
You even worry a leg. Yeah. Well, so we said we couldn't name a kid Russell. Because Russell would turn into Rusty, and he'd be a Rusty Dodge.
Right, yep. Even if we wanted to name a kid Russell, we couldn't name a kid Russell
Yep.
because they would become Rusty Dodge.
Yes, and we would not do that to our
And
children.
I had a student named Russell Ford.
I've got this year, next year, and I'll retire. I teach 4th graders, which are 10-year-olds, and I teach science and social studies to them. Social studies is very hard to fit in. We have a very crazy schedule this year. And it better be different next year, because that didn't work.
Yeah, see, Chrysler management separated Dodge trucks away from Dodge
Right.
because Chrysler still has some of the Chrysler Plymouth family who are involved in it. Chrysler doesn't make money. Dodge and Jeep make the money for Chrysler. And of course Fiat owns,
Oh, good
well,
heavens.
it's a merger, but Fiat owns it. And the Chrysler side
Well,
has
good to
been
get away, Mav.
wanting to, they literally took
Yeah.
Dodge trucks away from Dodge so that Dodge wasn't clearly making all the money. And they made it a separate division, Ram.
Right.
Although they still have all the Dodge engineers in it.
Yeah.
And then they took the only car that
We're
was,
not peace.
they took the car that Dodge invented, the soccer mom vehicle itself, the Caravan, The first, and if you go to Wikipedia, they get it wrong. They say Chrysler invented it and released it through Dodge. No, Dodge engineers designed it and gave it to, and it was shared among Chrysler, but it was
Don't
designed by
argue
Dodge.
with the Dodge about Dodge.
But they took Chrysler about 5 years ago took away the Caravan from Dodge, and now it's only released as the Town and Country or Pacifica in Chrysler because, well, if Dodge isn't selling it, people buy the Chrysler one. But a lot of people went and bought other cars instead because they were loyal to Dodge, not to Chrysler.
Right.
So Chrysler keeps cutting off their nose to spite their face, trying to screw over Dodge. Dodge could go independent and be more profitable than being owned by Chrysler. They just don't have the facilities now because everything got shut down.
All right. Is Lee leaving?
What's that?
Is Lee leaving?
Is Lee leaving?
Sometimes we have to check.
She went back to her ex.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's
As crazy as she is, apparently.
Good night, Lee.
So maybe they'll do well together. Night, Lee.
Yeah, the Plymouth Voyager. It was the Plymouth Voyager. Was the Dodge
All right,
Caravan.
you off, man? All right, you take care of
It was
the
invented
weekend.
by Dodge engineers because Dodge has their own engineers. Chrysler has engineers, but then Dodge, ever since Chrysler bought out
Isn't
Dodge,
that
part
true,
of the
Mav?
agreement was Dodge would always have their own engineering team.
Sounds like you just needed to escape and then just let it be.
So yeah, it's frustrating as a Dodge to see the things Chrysler's done because a few years ago it got out that Chrysler was looking at just eliminating the Dodge name and putting everything under the Chrysler name. And oh, did they hear it from the Dodge car drivers?
Do you have a theme today?
Other than the heritage train run on the, it's basically what I might see standing in Delmenhorst. I was kind of in a.
Oh, okay.
Other than no ICEs, but I got the IC2
Right.
run. It's just traffic. I would
Okay.
see Delmenhorst to Bremen to Hanover.
Gotcha.
I was just kind of in that mood.
That works.
I just
works
sort
with
of a
what's up.
homesick Delmenhorst mood.
Because I wasn't really finding one otherwise. But gotcha.
Oh, you miss your dog. Yeah, I understand that.
Aw. Well, can you get yourself another one? I mean, I know it's not the same. But you can have a new love.
Actually, what you do is and as long as I don't adjust the speed to mess with you, Andy 81E, is you try to time it while it's on and just do a minute or 2 minutes. How many loops does it do in a minute? And you might have to do... Chat just disconnected. Okay, now it's reconnecting.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. Okay, we're back.
Well, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I can
back.
see on
Okay,
mine.
we're back.
Oh, good Lord. That is so frustrating.
Oh my God.
Well, they told me how to do a...
Okay, that was from Hardy setting up the live stream tomorrow.
told me... Oh, now we're spinning again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Is it everybody's home
It's
now? Or 6 o'clock?
5:53.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I hate doing it through StreamYard.
all right, Steve. Thanks for coming in. If you caught that. Okay. So it seems to be back, gone, back, gone, back, gone. Yeah, it sure is. Too much adult content. So I don't know.
All right, well,
Maybe
yeah,
just-
we're going to have to call it a night.
I think we'll
here.
call it before it crashes again.
Well,
See, I addressed how to get a booster that did not agree with how to get the booster. I'm not sure we don't need two. One down here and one upstairs.
I hear you.
Or we give up. Find somebody else.
Now all of a sudden it's acting like, oh, we're trying to shove 12,000 bits through. No, we're not. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
call it
we
because
are.
now we're back,
Yeah.
back just in time.
But we
we're
don't
gonna-
trust it. So
We don't trust
yeah.
it. We're back, but we don't trust it.
Right. So,
Well, we're gonna go ahead and call it because it'll
Yeah.
probably crash another 5 minutes. 'Cause
right.
I'm very aggravated by it, but oh well, just the way the whole
Yep.
show started. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us, joining us, and being part of the team.
Yep.
So,
Look forward to Matt Clark coming out soon.
yep, Matt Clark will be hitting the airwaves
Doing
within
the
the next
voices.
couple of weeks.
Yep.
And, yeah, Oktoberfest in 2 weeks. So, until that time, we're going to say, Auf Wiedersehen!
Shoes.
And happy trains. Take care, everybody.
Bye.